Hi, my name is Kevin Snyder of Snyder Law, and I'm an estate and elder law attorney here in Irvine. And today we're going to be talking about how to have a crucial conversation with your parents about their estate planning. And this is going to be a part of an ongoing series that's focused on those of us that are in the sandwich generation. You may have heard that term before. What it means is that you are sandwiched between caring for aging parents and relatives and also your own family and all the strains and stresses that go along with that. And the point of having this conversation with you is to be able to provide a little bit of clarity and direction so you don't feel so stressed going through. So this is going to be a series that we're going to be touching on in a number of videos moving forward over the upcoming weeks. And so today's topic is how to get the conversation started. If you have any questions about what we talk about today, you can simply go to AskSnyderLaw.com and schedule time to have a conversation with me offline. So our topic again today is about how to have that conversation about estate planning with your parents, is because it can be a very difficult topic to talk about. Oftentimes when we're with our parents, it's a happy time. Maybe it's during the holidays or a vacation, or it's on a weekend and we're having Sunday dinner, and that's not something that we necessarily want to talk about over a good time. And honestly, no time is ever really a good time to talk about things that can happen in life and unexpected events and death and dying. Nobody really wants to have those conversations. Except ask yourself, do you really know what your parents' wishes are? Maybe you had a conversation with them years ago, but do you know what their wishes are right now? If you had a conversation with them, you might be surprised that what you thought was their wishes are something that's completely different. Why is that? Well, of course, people change and life changes, and their perception on things may have changed. Their finances may have changed. The law certainly has changed over the years, and maybe their education and knowledge about certain wishes that they had before has also changed, and they've increased their knowledge about something, and it's caused them to want to make a pivot. A variety of reasons why your parents' wishes might not be what you think they are, so it's important to get on the same page. Because if you had a thought about what mom or dad may have wanted in regards to life support, you want to make sure that you're clear on that so that the question doesn't come up later, because we often see when working with families is that the families that don't have these conversations, in a moment of crisis, that's when they're forced to deal with the question such as, well, did dad want to remain on life support? And it's a huge emotional stress for the family and the kids at that moment in time to have to deal with and guess, and hopefully guess right. And that's a big weight and burden to carry around. And also, it's also a seedbed for conflict in family. We see that too when family members are at odds with each other in regards to how things should be handled in certain situations, and especially in regards to parents' care and what should happen with the parents during a time of crisis. And we get a phone call from one child saying they can't believe what the other sibling is doing, and they want to know what they can do, what their recourse and remedy is. Much better to be on the same page as a family. But like I said, these conversations are difficult to have, of course, with parents, and it might be difficult with a family. So how do we get from where we are now and get started? And how do you have that conversation? I want to share with you a couple tips, things that have worked well for our clients and me personally. Number one, have a more casual conversation in a comfortable setting. Don't do it during a big event, a family gathering, or a holiday when maybe stresses and anxieties are already at an all-time high. Pick a separate time and frame it as you just want to have an important conversation, and so have the setting be right but comfortable. I find also that incorporating maybe your own thoughts of your own planning and wishes and offering that first is a way in which you can open the door for your parents to respond. Because if you're sharing something about you, they're going to feel more comfortable, most likely, sharing something about them, particularly if they're very private people, which we find that our parents' generation are more closely guarded in regards to finances and decisions like this. And in this comfortable setting, if you're doing that, you can just casually ask them some questions, such as, well, Mom and Dad, have you thought about some decisions that we might have to make in certain circumstances? What are your thoughts on life support? If you're needing some assistance later on in life and you have some mental incompetency, where do you want to get your care? Do you want to really stay at home as long as feasible, or would you feel comfortable going to an assisted living? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on what happens after you pass away? Do you have any specific designs? Do you have certain funeral arrangements? Do you want to be buried or cremated? That's really important to know, because you're going to have to deal with that at some point, and you're going to want to follow what your parents' wishes are, of course. Another thought is, are there certain types of treatments that you would not be okay with if that came to pass, that we had to make those decisions for you? We want to know these things. So those are some types of conversation starters you can have with your parents. We also find it's helpful to give your parents a healthcare quiz. And this is a great exercise. You and your parents can sit down and independently take this healthcare quiz. They take it and answer the questions in response, and that's their answer to the question, such as, would you want to remain on life support? Would you want to be withdrawn from life support, as an example of a question? And you answer what you think your parents' wishes are. And then after you're done taking the quiz, you guys get together and you share your answers, and seeing where you're on the same page. And then where you're not, you can have those healthy conversations so you can better understand where they're coming from. If you want a copy of our quiz that we have, happy to share it. Just let me know. I'm going to post a link actually in the coming days to this feed here, so you can actually get the healthcare quiz just by clicking on the link. But in the meantime, let me know if you want one, and I'll send it to you before we have the link up. So that's our healthcare quiz. Definitely something to take a look at. Find this important. Okay, so those are some ideas that we give clients about how to get the conversation started. Really, at the end of the day, it's about what you feel most comfortable with. You know your parents, you know your family, so do what you feel is right as far as having the conversation. Just at the end of the day, having the conversation is what is going to be really important. All right, my name is Kevin Snyder of Snyder Law, and today we discussed the importance of getting the conversation about estate planning started with your parents. And I'll be coming to you in the next week or so with some more great topics involved with the sandwich generation and other things that come up. Okay, go out and have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.